Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another great episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. See, we have a special guest tonight, a man who actually graduated from the Nightmare Factory Camp 5, and he's actually the manager of future legends. So if you want to become a legend, you definitely hit this man up because he's definitely going to make it happen for you like a captain. As a matter of fact, he recently managed Dean Alexander as well at the Student Showcase 5 where he made his debut. Everybody, welcome to the show, J.W. Kirkland.
Woo!
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for that intro, Remy. I'm glad that you got my notes on how to handle that properly. Thank you so much.
Hey, trust me, I know how it is, man. It's all respect, man. Definitely all respect.
All that
So I gotta ask, man. You know how is the manager of Future Legends? I mean this with all due respect. How is the manager of Future Legends doing these days?
The manager of Future Legends is doing great, making moves, making money, just doing everything I can to make sure that my guys are set up for their future. And I mean, really, that's all that I'm focused on, just making sure that my clients are well handled, that they get as much spotlight as they possibly can. Unfortunately, that means I haven't been able to be ringside as much as I would have liked to. But you know what? It's all good. Soon enough, I'll be returned to ringside for them, and we'll be showing those bums what it means to be facing future legends.
Awesome, that's cool. But I know you're gonna. I got a gut feeling. Maybe I should put some money down that you're definitely gonna be that guy to go to make a career happen, to make a career fire hot. But I gotta ask you, man. Let's take a step back real quick. Let's take a DeLorean trip back into the past. A Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure phone booth back, a time traveling trip back in the past. And I gotta ask you, man. How did it happen for you? How did you become a fan of professional wrestling?
So it's kind of a funny story with me because growing up, I was not allowed to watch wrestling at all. It was banned in my house, was not allowed to, had it on for TV once for like 2 seconds, and my dad immediately grabbed the remote and changed the channel on me. Just was not allowed to have it. Eventually, when I got to be about 12, 13 years old, one of my buddies was spending the night at their house one night. They actually rented one of the SmackDown versus Raw games, and we ended up just playing it all weekend. And after playing, I was like, this looks like fun. I kind of really want to see what a real match is like. And then as I start watching it through YouTube, DVDs, whatever I can get my hands on, basically. The funny thing was that as I was getting into it, though, all of my buddies were getting out of it. So I didn't really have anyone to talk to as soon as I got into discovering it, really.
Okay. Wow. So was it the Attitude Era that your parents that you started watching it? Because if it was Attitude Era, I completely understand. Like
you would think it was, but no, this was, I don't even know if it was Ruthless Aggression Era that my dad had turned the TV off on that. No. So my dad grew up a wrestling fan himself, but once he found out it was fake, he was just like, no, I don't entertain that. We don't entertain fake violence in this house. We only want real violence. So UFC, boxing, all of that was perfectly fine. But for some reason, he drew the line at fake wrestling. It was very, very misguided, for sure.
So how does he feel now that you actually, stuck to your love of wrestling and you're now a manager in pro wrestling? Is he like, I don't know why you're wasting your time, this fake stuff, I mean, I know you shouldn't use the F word in wrestling, but I'm just quoting. He's like, it's not real, man. Like, why are you mad? Or is he like, okay, hey, you're doing great now, I'm proud of you, son? Or was it a mixture of both?
So it was a little bit of a mixture of both. When I initially got into it, I started out just kind of writing for it, which is how I learned about the Nightmare Factory to begin with. One of the guys was covering the announcement that Cody Rhodes was starting a wrestling school. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go see if I can send an application real quick, and told my family that I was doing it. And he was the one who was like, that's just going to be a waste of time. You're going to be wasting everything that you put into that. It's a sham. Nobody's ever going to respect you for doing that. And I ended up speaking with QT's wife actually to start out with, Carolyn. Absolutely wonderful person. She talked with me. We had probably about like an hour and a half long conversation, and she was like, "We think you would be great. Here's how much the camp is." I'm like, "That's a lot of money. I can't afford it right now. Let me get back to you on that." And thankfully, between being able to financially set things aside a little bit better, along with a very generous bonus from my boss to pursue my dream, I was able to go to the 5th camp. Once I started going there, I got injured in the first 2 weeks I was there. Ended up hurting my chest. Couldn't lift anything over 10 pounds for about a month while I was there. And my dad was just like, "How does that happen?" I'm like, "Because it's not fake. It's scripted." And I started sending him clips of different matches and things like that I'd watch. And slowly but surely, he's come around to it, because he now understands, like, these guys are actually getting hurt. There's nothing fake about this. This is all real.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But that's pretty awesome that he's actually accepted it, and he's pretty cool with it now and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, kudos to you on, not just staying a fan, but actually, jumping the guardrail respectfully. And when I say jumping the guardrail, I mean getting into the wrestling business. You
Yes.
know, and when I say respectfully, is you didn't do it like those knuckleheads, like my fellow knuckleheaded fans. Who I wouldn't do it, but that decided to jump the guardrail, want to be a part of the show, and yeah, but congrats on doing it respectfully and sticking to it. And I know it wasn't easy. From what I heard, you're not the first Nightmare Factory alumni we've had on the show, and many of them have said the same thing. It's not easy. It
Mm-hmm.
is several weeks of intense training. Some classes started out with a lot and ended up graduating with a little. So I
Mm-hmm.
commend you on being one of the few that actually got that handshake from your coaches, that pat on the back, that head nod, that acknowledged you as being part of the industry and ready to go out there and show them what you got.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I've watched a few of them as well. You actually had on my roommate for the time while I was there, Ryan Dotson, American Ninja Warrior.
Ah, okay. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to having him back. Looking forward to having him not having him back. I mean, if he wants to be back on the show, but seeing him back in the in professional wrestling and doing his thing as well. Great talent, great guy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to him being back in the ring so I can be ringside for him again. And, need to shame him a little bit for not plugging me, but it is what it is. I'll plug him. That's just how it works. Just kidding. I got him.
So has your dad gone to any of your shows at least, or has he just been like watching from like afar?
Oh, he does not leave the recliner for anything. He watches from afar. He sits and watches the YouTube videos whenever he can. But for the most part, it's my mom and my 2 little cousins who come and watch me, which they're the 2 who I do it for anyway.
Oh, I think okay, because like Rob Bass here, his family went there, and I think his dad. Or was it your mom? I don't know who it was, Rob, but someone saw Rob getting beat up. And I think, his dad wanted to jump in the ring and fight the guy. It would have been like Rocky Johnson, his dad, fighting against somebody. Or I think his mom wanted to go in there and hit somebody with a purse or something. I don't know who it was, Rob, but.
No, that's not my family. My family is like, they're the loudest ones going, "This ref sucks. This ref sucks." They're the ones standing up there and chanting that stuff, I mean? I always hear them in the back, I mean? I can pick my mom out, I mean, from anywhere she's sitting, I mean? Like, "This ref sucks," and boo!
I can relate to that. My sister during the Nightmare Factory showcase was shouting for them to throw me out. And
oh, man.
Yeah. My little cousin, after Cody Chun super kicked me in the face, unprovoked, completely unprovoked. The next 3 days, I heard from my little cousin about how I had a boot print on my jawline.
Oh my lord! I was doing a show one time. I'm reffing at our local fairgrounds and stuff. Man, we had like a little thing for the because we're on regional TV here, something for that.
Yeah.
And my sister stopped by to watch, and she's back there, like, boo, you count slow, like that. I hear her back there. I'm like, oh lord. And then she like, she was like, the dude next to me was like, why are you like yelling at him? He's not that bad. He's like got a good count. And she was like, boo. And then after the thing, I come talk to her. I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, oh, I get it. Okay, yeah. I know why you're booing him. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
My bad, Remy.
It's all good, man. It's all good, man. You guys have the MJF thing going on because now it's like, yeah, you guys are doing it, but your families are booing you or whatnot. Yeah.
I mean, they've been
Yeah, the reason why I call it MJF.
Life. I was just saying, they've been booing me my entire life. Now they just get to do it in front of a crowd.
I feel your pain. But I gotta ask you, man. So you're one of the few managers that we've had on the show. We at Ringside SETI, we often say if we would interview a Jimmy Hart, or I think it's Alex Abrahantes is his name, or whoever else manages in AEW, or even WB with Paul Ellering. I mean, although he's not managing right now, and so on. If we would interview those men and women that manage, then why not a J.W. Kirkland? Why wait until he gets signed by AEW and WB or Impact, and then you got to talk to his people, and then you got to pay a consultation fee on top of the booking fee because time is money when you get to that level. So I figured, hey, why not just get him now? When it might just cost me a Chick-fil-A sandwich or maybe a bit more. I don't know if you like Chick-fil-A, but hey, I mean, where you in Georgia? I guess probably Raising Cane's might be the thing over there.
I'm actually a Florida boy, born and raised, and Chick-fil-A is my chicken of choice, along with a sweet tea on the side.
Okay, a Chick-fil-A and a sweet tea on the side. Why not get them out when it would cost them that? As opposed to waiting for the big time when it's going to cost you more. So, I just got you. So I got to ask you, man. Like when you're managing, I've always said when it came to my podcasting, me getting into the world of podcasting, I've had three influences, three inspirations. My mentor George Alonso, a guy by the name of Trey King who hosts the Trey King Show on YouTube, and also this guy is also a bit controversial. Rob, I know you know who he is, Charlemagne the God, the host of the Breakfast Show. But who would you say are your influences in regards to managing in pro wrestling?
Oh my word, that's a fantastic question. So, as far as from the actual management standpoint, the number one probably has to be Gary Hart, World Class Championship Wrestling, WCW days, you already know.
Texas best manager.
Yes. Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. As far as number two on the list goes, not a manager per se, but definitely was the one who kind of got me intrigued by how much story can be told by just your words, would be the recently passed Bray Wyatt. Was actually the number one on my list of people who I wanted to have a promo battle with. Sadly, won't get to have it, but definitely got to give him the respect. He was one of the major influences on me getting in the business. And then,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. And then number three, you can't mention modern day managers without mentioning Paul Heyman. And while I've retroactively gone back and do prefer the Paul E. Dangerously days with the giant cell phone and everything, I still do really like the modern day advocate of the beast. That was actually how I kind of got my start. Was I used to be an amateur MMA fighter. Shortly after I retired, a couple of my buddies kept going. I was like, I was like, hey, why don't I rip off Paul Heyman's shtick and be y'all's Paul Heyman? We'll do YouTube videos. It will be great. It will get a laugh on the amateur scene. People will love it. Sadly, we never gained any traction with it, but it was still fun while we did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think he froze up, man.
Yeah,
oh no, you're good, Remy. I see you moving. You're good.
Oh, am I good? Am I frozen?
I'm here.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Okay.
I think Remy might have messed up on his end.
True. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if I froze up. We got a storm brewing out here, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's been raining down here in Delaware all day too, man. Yeah, but while he until he fixes his thing, man, let me ask you about your MMA background, man. Cause,
for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What'd you study? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Oh, so for the most part, I was kind of, again, parents didn't want me to necessarily get into violence. They were fine with me watching it, but they didn't want me to actually partake in it. So I was basically learning from jiu-jitsu books, boxing books, mostly reading and studying. But thankfully, my buddies, their parents let them go and join whatever gym they wanted to. So I essentially just started going to their garages and we just started beating up each other, learning what they would learn. It was cool. I actually got to go down to American Top Team for like a week. Got to meet Dan Lambert, super sweet dude. So yeah, I mean, it was still a good part of my life for sure.
Ooh. Oh, so you're a manager with hands and graps, man. What? Them guys, your Chargers opponent, the opponents of your Chargers might want to watch out, man. You might show them a thing or two.
No. I've hung up the gloves. I am the only time you will ever see me break them back out is if it's something that I really just need to get involved in. Like there's no other point aside for me to step in the ring.
Okay. So speaking of the ring, man, you had, the task of, managing Dean Alexander against, Cody Chun.
Yep.
And, unfortunately it wasn't successful, but hey, something, many great managers actually, actually charge, not, the W.
Remy, you're messing up a little bit. I can't exactly hear your question. I'm sorry. It's like freezing up. Did he freeze up for you too?
Yeah, he froze up, man. I got it.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh, you're back. You're good. Okay.
You back? I think he might still be frozen.
Oh yeah. It's all good, man. I got this, man. It happens all the time. We're live, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it happens all the time.
Oh no, trust me, I get it. I've been on the media side of it. I understand where y'all guys are coming from.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. Sometimes, you being in the ring and outside the ring where stuff pops up and you're like, oh man, I gotta do something.
Exactly. I think he's back now. Though.
Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, you had the task of managing Dean Alexander against Cody Chun. You guys didn't get the W, but hey, that happens. You win some, you lose some. It's just a matter of, getting back up, trying again until you get to your goal. So in terms of it, what was it like, the student showcase, man? You gotta showcase your skills your managing skills in front of, the crowd, but also, guide your charge in this match. What was that whole match like for you? Were you nervous? Were you like, something? I got this. I had the best training from the coaches, Coach QT, Coach Cody, Coach Ian, Coach Glacier. What was your mindset going into that match?
Oh, well, again, great question as well. My mindset going out there, I definitely wasn't prepared for the nerves I ended up having. I didn't really think much of it because, again, going back to the MMA days, I'd cornered a few guys, so I was used to kind of giving like details, giving instructions in the heat of the moment, and helping people make corrections. But the hardest part about it wasn't the crowd. It wasn't even being in front of someone as illustrious as Cody Rhodes or QT Marshall or Glacier Ray Lloyd. It was having to manage Dean Alexander against at the time, one of my best friends, Classic Cody Chun. And that was probably the hardest part of it for me, was being like, I have to take this guy and get him a win over someone I've been spending the last 12 weeks of my life with and getting really close with too.
Cool. So I know Cody Chun has since, or I don't know if he was already in, but he's in a tag team called C4 with,
Guillermo Rosas,
Guillermo Rosas. And they actually won some tag team titles recently. So do you think there would be a possibility? Yep. I'm gonna ask you your top 5, aside from this, but I'm gonna ask you your top 5 of who you'd want to manage. But this question here: would you consider? Could there be a possibility of J.W. Kirkland managing C4?
So going back, and I'm going to answer your question. I'm just kind of rewinding it a little bit, back to that Night of the Nightmare Factory to answer it. So I don't know if you saw it or not, but as I stated earlier, Cody Chun blasting you with a super kick when I was on the apron, devastated at my error that ended up costing Dean Alexander the match. I felt so bad, but it was so much worse that Cody could have pushed me off. He could have gone and covered him. I wouldn't have gotten in the ring. Cody saw me work. Cody's seen how I do things. He knows I never cross those ropes. But he chose to kick me in the face. To me, that right there stamped that he wanted that relationship to end that night. So I would absolutely love to manage Guillermo Rosas in the future. And to answer your question, yes, they won the Prestige Tag Team Championships at Prestige Roseland. I was actually there that night. I flew up there to go support Guillermo, see him win those tag team belts, beat Midnight Heat, and also just introduce myself to some people. I paid for a hotel room for me and Guillermo to catch up. Guillermo asked if it was cool for Cody Chun if Cody Chun could come and chill with us. Hesitantly, I said yes, in hopes of trying to mend that fence and potentially manage them. I'm not saying it's a for sure no, but he has to do a lot more work in order to prove that he's worthy of my guidance.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully, things work out. I honestly feel you two could use each other. I feel that I mean, I could see you having your own little stable with Dean Alexander and C4. And hey, it wouldn't hurt to manage three guys. There's such a thing as trios tag team titles out there now. So hey,
for sure. Oh, for sure.
You never know. But
no.
Speaking of,
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say yeah, and also not to make any of my personal stuff. Classic Cody Chun is one of the most talented guys on the independent scene. He's the golden boy of the indies. I would love to manage Dean again. One person I would like to throw out there is the guy who I initially thought I would be managing at the showcase, Tony Bencita, who, in my opinion, is just as, if not more talented than Cody Chun, but for some reason, he doesn't get the spotlight that he deserves. They've both been on AEW pretty regularly, but nobody really looks at him. But at the same time, though, if those three guys came together, I'd love to manage them. That'd probably be the easiest way to get me and Chun on good terms, is to have those three work together. But yeah, I mean, any combination of them, Dean and C4, Tony and C4, would love to do that for sure.
Awesome. So speaking of managing guys, so you mentioned Tony, you mentioned Dean, you mentioned C4. Is there anybody in the independent circuit that you would like to manage that you feel could use your managerial services?
Ooh, that's a great question. So the hardest thing about deciding for managing a talent is to see if the chemistry's there. Already there's one guy who I'm looking at who's on the Florida independent scene. His name is the Violent Gentleman, Miles Blackwell. Big in Coastal Championship Wrestling, definitely. Yep. I heard that pop.
What? I think Cody might. Cody, if you're watching, you might want to make amends with this man soon, because Violent. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is really a violent gentleman. Cody, if you're watching this, I think y'all might want to, make amends with this guy. I mean, come on, he's a super kick. I mean, come on, you could probably mend it up with a beer or something, or he likes Chick-fil-A and CT. Maybe you could do that, but yeah, you might not. Cody, Cody, if you're listening, Guillermo, if you're listening to, I know you're gonna get it. You're gonna want to, help your guy. Y'all might want to consider. I'm telling you. But yeah, wow, that's I've seen that guy. Yeah, he's no joke.
He's vicious as all get out. But yeah, he's one who I would love to work with. Another one who I would absolutely love to work with, not necessarily independents, but he was at the Prestige show as well. Met him while I was at the Nightmare Factory. Actually helped me out a lot while I was there. Alan Angels. I'm sure you know that name easily. So
Oh yeah.
He's one who I could easily see myself being aligned with. We get along very well. I already know we have great chemistry. As far as anyone else goes, I mean, there's quite a few. Met Ethan HD the same weekend. First time I ever interacted with him, but
I remember him.
Yeah, we just hit it off. Immediately had instant chemistry. So he's somebody I could easily see myself aligning with as well. That I could offering my guiding hand to. Now, I'm trying to think of two other ones because the independent scene is it's so overrun with talent. Just pure raw talent. This might be the peak for professional wrestling as far as just on the independent circuit goes. Like, there's so much out there that I don't want to leave anyone out there. And we're also looking at who she's been in the NWA. She calls herself the main character, Maddie. I don't want to butcher her last name.
Maddie Winkowski?
Yes. She's another one who I could easily see myself aligning with just because I think me and her, as far as from a promo standpoint, from just a pure entertainment factor, I think that would be a great pairing as well. And
oh wow,
yeah. Is that 4 or is that 5?
I think it's 4.
Okay, 4. All right, so now for the 5th one, I've got to hammer it home for my boy Tony Vincito because he doesn't get mentioned nearly enough. I honestly believe he is the most talented guy out there who has not been signed yet. He is just a phenomenal mix of raw power and elite athleticism that does not get looked at enough. And I know I've already reached 5, but again, anyone from the Nightmare Factory Camp 5, aside from Cody Chun, Ryan Dotson, Ezio Orlandi, any of them can give me a call and I'd be happy to be ringside for them.
Yeah, hey, they always say a manager makes a great mouthpiece as well for those that aren't good on the mic. I don't know if there's a certain guy, you probably know him, Lesnar Guerrero. I've never heard the man speak, but hey, Lesnar, if you're watching this, if you don't feel like talking on the mic, I mean, hey,
I know Lesnar.
I'm just saying,
Lesnar's great. He's absolutely awesome. I would love to speak for him as well. But yeah, there's just so much talent. There's so much talent that just comes through the Nightmare Factory alone that honestly, any of them can hit me up. Ivy Malibu recently graduated.
I know of her.
Yep. Vicky Dreamboat was actually in our Camp 5, injured her leg, came back for Camp 6.
Yep.
Yeah. Renegade Twins, Dylan McQueen, literally anyone who's been through there. Diamond Chick doesn't need me to speak for him. He's good enough on his own. But hey, if he just wants to get together and just chop it up, I'm down for it.
Let me tell you something. Diamond Chic is so awesome that we made a shirt inspired by him. We've been in existence as a brand for 10 years, as a podcast for 4 years, had many people, former WWE champions, people that wrestled all over the world. And that guy, I'm not saying he's not nobody. No, he is somebody.
Oh, he did.
We actually liked his vibe so much. We were like, you know something? We're going to make a shirt in honor of you. And that's how our luxury edition shirt, which is like gold and platinum with diamonds in it as well, too. So, yeah. Shout out to Diamond Chic, man.
Diamond Chic's awesome. Love Diamond Chic.
Yeah. So I just got one more question, man, before I kind of Rob got a couple questions for you as well. So in regards to managing, man, a lot of people think that it's just, it's easy, but it's not. I know for a fact it's not, because I was a timekeeper, and the one thing I've learned with wrestling, I'll never get in the ring and train to be wrestling. One, I'm too old for. I leave that for young boys like Rob and them drop kicks and lariats and Stone Cold Stunners. I think Rob Stone Cold stunned a guy one time where I made a guy tap out to a Taz mission. So I'll leave that for them young guys right there. But if somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, JW, you know what, man? I want to be as awesome as you. I want to do the managing thing. I don't want to deal with the wrestling thing because it's just not for me. But managing, yeah, that's definitely my thing." What advice would you give that person?
The first piece of advice is always have good training backing you regardless. It doesn't matter if you're a referee, if you're a timekeeper, if you're an announcer. If you want to be any part of wrestling, go to a wrestling school. I'm impartial to the Nightmare Factory, of course. It's the best facility, in my opinion, in the world that you can pay to get into. And they have people who can help you out with athleticism. They have people who can help teach you how to talk better, who can give you little bits and pieces of advice. Like, being able to learn under Cody Rhodes just from a speaking standpoint, just from what it means to be able to grab the microphone and to have the confidence when that mic is in your hands. It is absolutely invaluable. There is nobody else who can put it in better words to you than him. And honestly, as a manager, I get hit and I fall down a lot. It's not in my guide to greatness anywhere. There's no tip for, hey, JW, take one hit each match and fall down. It just seems to happen. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to work around that. But even still, go learn how to take a fall, learn how to take a hit, because trust me, when a Cody Chun comes at you with a super kick, it's going to come in handy for you being able to go around the next day and function normal. You may be screwed that night, but you'll be able to function normal the next day. And the most important thing I can tell anybody, though, is know why you're doing this. If you don't know why you're doing it, don't bother starting, because the why is the most important thing that you can have. It's going to be what carries you through the days like my trip in Portland, where I was starting to get a cold. I had slept for maybe 2 hours after being up for 48 hours straight. I was starving. I was just absolutely miserable. But I remembered why I was there. It was to pursue my passion, to get to know more people, and to be there to support my best friend Guillermo Rosas when he went up and grabbed those titles, even if it was with the person who I despise the most in the business, Cody Chun.
So I gotta say, kudos to you on making it to the PNW. It's just something about the Pacific Northwest. It's like
it's a hotbed.
It's like you drink a nice, freshly brewed beer, and it makes you go, "Woo! I like it here." That's how I feel. That's how it makes me feel, Or it's like you take a pill from Morpheus in the Matrix, and it doesn't matter which one you take, but it takes you on a trip, and it's like, by the time you're done, you leave the PNW. You're like, what did I just? Like, I went to Seattle once, and I was like, I actually like it here. I'm a New York guy, I live in Brooklyn, but I'm like, I actually like it here. I would do this again. I will do this again. So I give you kudos to that. I didn't get to see any wrestling shows yet, but I can only imagine, it's going to make me feel like how I was in California, where it was just a totally different vibe and the people are just larger than life.
Oh, most definitely. Make out to Prestige show, because there are two things that make those shows amazing. One, there's no other crowd that I've come across on an independent level like it. Like, you can be outside the building and still feel the energy of that crowd. It is otherworldly, just the level of passion they bring to the shows. Second is just the hunger in that locker room, which, again, I know I'm going to sound like I like the guy because of how much I do praise him, but Cody Chun cuts an amazing promo. It's on Prestige's Twitter page right now, just talking about the hunger he had going after those titles. That hunger is shared by that entire locker room. They all just want to be professional wrestlers. They all want to succeed. And if you want to be a client of the Guide to Greatness, J.W. Kirkland, have that hunger before you reach out to me.
Wow. Yeah, that's I gotta try to get C4 on here, man. Hopefully I get them on here soon. And I could just definitely, because like I said, I saw Cody Chun and I was like, wow, this guy is definitely gonna go for it. Hopefully I could get him in time before he gets signed. Him and Guillermo get signed, hopefully two of them. And now it's gonna be like, I gotta go through hoops of fire to get these two guys on. So
I will give you a free tip for greatness. As much as I hate him, Cody is the easier one to get a hold of.
Yeah, we saw that. Guillermo's busy, but we'll try to see. We'll try to see what we can do and get them on here. as well. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple questions for you. Rob Bass, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, man. So what's going on, JW, man? How's everything going your way, man? Has it been a normal Monday? Anything exciting happen?
Oh, it's been a great Monday. I've just been relaxing in the house, been moving some paintings around, just getting everything situated for the most part.
Oh, word up. Yeah, man. What kind of paintings, man? You got like the Mona Lisa hanging up in there or something, some Picassos, stuff like that?
No, nothing like that. Just some local artists. I date a few artists who are in the local scene here, and I just, gotta support them.
I feel you. Yeah. You gotta support that. You gotta do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. I don't have that eye for art or whatever. I just look and I'm like, oh man, what's that? MC Escher or whatever? Where the dudes are walking up and down. Yeah, that looks cool to me.
Yeah.
Or I was born in 1982, so I was big on those 3D posters. Back in the 90s. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's more my style.
I gotcha.
That's right. So when you were just giving that advice, man, would that kind of qualify as a copy to the guide of greatness? Something to get started with if you wanted to become great like yourself, or get somebody like yourself for their services or whatever.
That would definitely be a tip for greatness. That is the start to getting on the path to greatness. It's just having the hunger and having the desire in order to pursue it. Because I tell you, the path to failure is littered with people who just had the thought that they wanted to be great, just thought that they wanted to do it, didn't have the desire to actually pursue it. You got to be hungry for it. You have to want it. Otherwise, you're never going to get there.
Oh, yeah. Look, that's true, man, because I've been to, when I started training and stuff, I'm a normal sized human being. I'm about 6 feet tall, 150, 160 pounds. You know what I mean? I'm normal size. Now, I've had dudes come into the training center and make it there like 1-2 days or whatever. They've been 6'8", 300 pounds, big, strong. They can't make it, and I'm really okay. Yeah. So, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. There's people that's just like, oh yeah, I can do this. And it's like, they take that first bump or something, or hit the ropes one time, that first time, whatever, you don't know how it is. Like, oh, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm good. It's like, all right.
I hear you.
That's right. So when you're at the Nightmare Factory, man, what was like the best advice or something that stuck with you, that you heard from the coaches, man?
Well, there are a lot of great bits that came from, really all the coaches, but Coach Ray, Glacier Ray Lloyd, he's probably the one who I end up quoting the most. Like me speaking about knowing the why earlier. That's entirely him. I cannot take credit for that. That was what he told us. I want to say day 3 in the factory. He just sat us all down, stood in front of the class, and said, remember your why, write it down, have it memorized by heart, have it as short as you can, because there are going to be times when you're going to be drained and your mind's just going to be exhausted to the point where you can't get through your entire why. So make sure it's always present to you. And the other piece of advice that he gave me that has definitely helped out is just living in the moment. Live moment to moment, because it's never going to come again. And again, that helped me out getting through that exhausting weekend in Portland, just enjoying each moment I had with the people who I've come to know and come to love in this business, and, Cody Chun being there too. But again, like I said, it just helped me get through every pain I had. Anytime I felt like I want to go home, I feel sick, I hate this, I don't want to be here. It was all worth it just to get to that moment of seeing the joy on Guillermo's face when he held that belt.
That's right. Now, have you ever had any of those moments where you're like, like before going out on the curtain, like, oh man, I got those nervous moments, them butterflies. I mean, do you always still get those, Because I do, I've wrestled so many matches, I've ring announced so many, all this, but right before I go out on the curtain, every match where I'm like, I get that little anxiety, the little butterflies, like, all right, let's roll.
Those butterflies come every time that I go through a curtain, every time I step in front of the camera, every time there's a mic in my hand. The butterflies never go away. It's how you deal with them.
That's right. I've heard stories. I haven't seen it personally, but they told me, like when I first started going, they're like, now are you okay going, being in front, a couple hundred people, all this stuff, TV tapings and all, because we got people, they train or whatever, and it's like right when they get there, it's like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm good. Yes.
Yeah, it's an entirely different thing being able to say it and then actually stepping out in front and seeing everybody. It's there's no real preparation for that. It's just trial by fire. You got to get thrown out there and you got to deal with it.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. That's exactly right, man. So you're talking about Portland and stuff. Is that the farthest you've traveled and stuff? For wrestling and all that, or anything else, or have you traveled anywhere else for it?
Oh, most definitely the farthest place I've traveled. I've attempted to go out to New Jersey a couple times for it, which again isn't as far, but
Mhm.
even still, it's pretty good distance from Florida. But it's just things haven't worked out. That was me trying to go out there to work with my buddy Tony that I was speaking of earlier. Tony Vincita, greatest talent on the independent scene. Got to plug him again. And yeah, it just didn't quite work out. But Portland was the farthest successful trip I've had by far. And honestly, it was the most enjoyable one as well. Like I said, even though I was miserable for most of it, it was still, at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade that trip for anything.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, yeah, those trips are always great, man. Get those memories and stuff, that camaraderie and stuff, and just hanging out, chilling, BS and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah.
So, do you have any shows coming up that that you can promote or anything, or anything in the bag?
Nothing currently, just because nothing's concrete right now. It's more so just I may get to. You've been in wrestling. It's like I'm going to show up. I may get to step out from the crowd. I may not. But also that's also mostly because right now my schedule is also a little bit fluctuating in the air, just because I do have a few side projects. I'm also a writer, so I'm trying to make that work out as well. So nothing that I can speak on right now as far as works go, but hopefully once my schedule clears up, I'll get something more consistent. I'll be posting a lot more on Twitter, Instagram, showing everybody what I'm going to do.
That's what's up. Now I do gotta ask, man, where'd you get those cool shades from your promo pics, man? Because I wear glasses, and I can't really wear shades. I'll just I just go to to the local convenience store and just grab the cheap ones off the rack because I can't see through them anyway. They're just there to block the sun. So where'd you get those cool ones at? Are you cool? Is it cool to delve? Tell me where it's at, or is it a secret place?
I actually have to look at that again real quick just so I can remember which pair I was wearing.
Okay.
Give me just one moment. I have it right here on my phone so I can see. Okay, yeah. So for a second there, I was like, was I wearing the Oakleys? I can't remember if I was wearing the Oakleys or not, but I do. I believe those are from Oakley as well. So again, being in the Sunshine State, you got to have a pair of sunglasses just about everywhere you go. You got to have it in your backpack. You got to have it in the car. You got to have it at work, because you are guaranteed going to leave your shade somewhere and you're not going to remember where that pair is. So you have to have a backup pair somewhere that are going to be where you need them to be. So those right there, I can't remember where they came from. I want to say that those might have just been like a mall kiosk pair that I got for Christmas or something like that. But yeah, those were my brother's. Like his roommate's a photographer. He's the one who took all those pictures. Shout out to Stephen Browning if you see him on Twitter. So literally, I was like looking for the glasses that I had picked for it, and I couldn't find them. My brother ran to his room, grabbed them, and handed them to me.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Hey, man, they were cool, man. I liked them. I
appreciate it. I'll ask him, and then I'll message you where he got them.
There you go. Now, traveling to Portland and all that good stuff, and around, all that, in Florida and stuff. Do you have any funny travel stories? Because being down there in Florida, I've been to Florida before, and I've heard, they got those gators and snakes and all kinds of stuff down there, man. Kind of scary out there walking around at night, man. Do you have any, funny travel stories or anything?
Oh my word! There's
that you can share.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking right now. So the funniest wrestling related story that I can think of that I don't mind sharing is actually how I met Malachi Black.
Okay.
This is back when I was up at the Nightmare Factory. It was third week we were there, I want to say. I was literally coming from the doctor's appointment where I got my chest checked out. And I'm all nice and dressed up because I went back to the house, showered, coming in to do promo class. I see Cody talking to somebody. I don't even think about it. I just wave, set my bag down, go to the bathroom. Now, this bathroom has the jankiest door handle ever. I cannot speak right now for some reason. So basically, it is known amongst everyone who's in the class, everyone who's there every day, that if the door is all the way shut, somebody's in there, because no one's going to take the time and effort to shut the door if they're not going to be in there. It's not worth it. So I'm in there. I'm finishing up my business. Literally, as I'm going to pull the zipper up, I just hear the door open. I hear the Dutch voice say, "Oh, sorry, boss. Didn't mean to walk in on you." And then I hear the door shut behind me. And I'm like, that was Malachi Black. So I just like zip up. I start washing my hands. And admittedly, I start marking out a little bit. I'm like, what's he doing here? I had no idea he was going to be here. What's Malachi Black doing here today? And I'm actually speaking all this out loud because I was not mentally prepared to see him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, he still is one of my top favorite superstars, but he was like top 3, still probably in the top 3, maybe even top 2 at the moment. But I go, I open the bathroom door, pull it open, and he's still standing right there. And I'm like, okay, cool. He just heard me marking out in the bathroom. I was like, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure nobody walked in on you. I'm like, oh, no, it's okay, man. Like, if the door's shut all the way, everybody knows to stay away. He's like, oh, cool. Thanks for the tip. I'm like, not a problem. So I shut the door behind him. I go to walk off. I go see my buddy Tony. I'm like, what's Malachi Black doing here? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't here yesterday. You were at the doctor's. Yeah, he's going to be sending the promo class. I'm like, okay, cool. Where am I at? You're first up. Sweet.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for the 0 prep time, y'all.
Oh, wow. Oh, that had to be awesome. You know what I mean? A promo class with Malachi Black. Oh, man. You know what I mean? That's got to be a dream, man.
It was great. He is so beyond knowledgeable of just the character work in the business and everything that goes into the mentality of stepping out of the ropes and really making an impact with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
He gets it on a level that I cannot even put into words. He is just so in tune with it, and it's a moment that I'll treasure forever because the advice that he gave me I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, life changing memory right there. You're like, oh yeah, I'll never forget this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do have a lot of Gator stories if you do want to hear about those as well. Though they're not wrestling related.
Oh yeah, man. I'm all good with Gator stories, man, because they're pretty much dinosaurs, right?
Oh yeah, pretty much. But they're easy to handle dinosaurs. You got a stick, you got some duct tape, you can wear them out pretty quick and then tape up their jaw.
Okay.
Really quick.
Okay. All right, yeah. See, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm just like, yeah, can they climb trees? You know what I mean? I'll climb the nearest tree or something, man. You know, I'm good to go.
They can climb when they're motivated.
Oh.
Like,
oh, never mind.
One of my neighbors had one halfway over their fence before we saw it, and it was ridiculous.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how I could do that or whatever, man. Yeah, because I was down in Florida last year for the Halloween thing at Universal and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just like, man, please don't let there be no gators and there's snakes and something, man. They always got something poisonous, man. It's like, I swear I saw a rat or something there, man. I was like, oh man, you know, they probably got like gigantic rats over here, man. Like,
Yeah, you see, I will take a gator any day over a haunted house. Like, that's not.
Oh yeah, nope.
That is not my forte. We went to one while we were in Atlanta. Me, Ryan Dotson, Matt Honey, and Keyzon as well. We took another guy, Wrestling Warden. I think Adrian Ward's what he's going by now as well. But anyway, all of us went out there literally the entire time. Anytime something jumps out, I'm grabbing Matt Honey and putting him in between me and whatever is popping out at me.
Yeah, see, I'll go to those kind of haunted houses because I do the same thing. I'll jump, you know, them jump scares always get me, you know. I'm like, dang. You know what I mean? One dude got me twice, man. It was in a corner. He got me. I was like, and then when I came around the corner, they had a thing in the back where the actors could run around and go around this on the corner. So he got me here, and I'm like, calm down. He comes right at me again. I was like, cussing at him and all, man. He's all like, you hear him laughing, everybody laughing at me. I'm like, that. He got me twice. This dude, man. I was like, F you, God, man.
Yeah, no, at that point, I would just be like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to go chill in the car. Yeah. Wake me up when we get to the show.
Yeah, I'm good. You know, as long as it's not a real haunted house. You know what I mean? Somebody's like, oh, yeah, look at this house in the woods and stuff. Because I've never said Beetlejuice 3 times in a row, even ever. You know what I mean? I'm going to say Bloody Mary. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, more than likely something won't happen, but just in case. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, you know, in Scary Movie, you know, the casket, you know, I'm like, you know, in my funeral or whatever, my friends were like, oh, man, he's saying them words, you know what I mean, too many times, man. You know, look at him now. No. Yeah, no, I can't have that.
No. I've seen too much in my religious studies. I know that's not a good juju to be inviting in.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, I don't do those the Ouija boards or any of those, man. Yeah, no, I'm good, man. My friend was like, yeah, you want to play one? I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'm going home.
I hear you.
Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do got to ask, what does greatness like yourself do? When you're, do you have any new movies and TV shows you're watching? Because I'm always stuck watching the same things like, comfort shows or whatever. So I'm always trying to find out, what's greatness like you or somebody, like is watching, so maybe I can get a taste of that greatness or, just, something up there.
Oh, no, that's absolutely fair. I will say that as far as whenever I'm watching TV, it's not necessarily to dive in and expand my knowledge for that. I just kind of stick to books, reading literature, just because it's a lot more active perception. You have to pay attention a lot more when you're reading. You have to really focus in. It helps absorb a lot more material for me. But whenever I'm watching TV, I just kind of want to shut the brain off, which is also very important as well because it allows you to retain the knowledge of whatever you just read. So my turn off the brain, just have a good laugh is Letterkenny right now. That's just what I
I love Letterkenny.
It's absolutely great. I'll read a book. I'll be like, okay, brain's fine-tuned right now. It's time to turn it off and just let everything marinate in. So I just listen to them chirp at each other and just have a good time laughing.
Shoresy's pretty good too if you ever get to catch that. I think they got I think season 2 is coming out soon or whatever. But
it's coming out later this month, I think. Yeah.
Is it okay? Yeah. I've been waiting on it too, man. Because I was like, all right, I want to see if they do. Because I was always like, are they actually going to show Shoresy's face in this? And it was like they actually did. I was like, okay, all right, here we go. And then, it was just like on Letterkenny, he just talking trash. I'm just like, this dude is vicious. No, man, there's. I don't know where they come up with it or whatever. They're riffing on each other, man. These guys are vicious with it.
Oh, most definitely. That's also, if you're looking for anyone who's watching, if you're looking for a good basis for trash talking, Letterkenny, every scene with Shoresy in it. That is trash talk 101 for the modern day trash talker. It's just phenomenal.
And they had one bit in there where they were talking about the pro wrestlers and all, and they were like, "Yeah, I like Bret the Hitman Fart or whatever." He was like, "What? You Shawn Michaels? You mean Yawn Michaels?" And they were like, "Yeah, don't make me Vince McMahon. You did it all." That. Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Their wordplay is just second to none. They've got it down to the science. It's absolutely hilarious. I remember Kiso talking about it. They have writers that will literally just write a volume of jokes, and they will just take bits and pieces from the best ones and put it all together.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love watching that too, man. Another one that's kind of like that in that realm, or whatever I've been watching was the Righteous Gemstones, the Danny McBride. And all
that. I love that show. Yeah, me and my brother.
Yeah, that show is great. What's his name? Walter Goggins, man, baby Billy Boy. He says the most crazy. Oh man, every time he opens his mouth, I'm laughing. I don't know how they do it, man. I don't know how they get this ain't like a $3 million or $300 million budget on each show because I'll be laughing all the time. Like, man, you have to cut it up.
I got to watch the latest season. I'm still behind on it, but I've loved the first 2. Cannot wait to see the 3rd.
Yeah, it's pretty good too, man. You'll enjoy it, man. I'm ready for number 4, man. I think they're doing it, so hopefully.
Wonderful.
So, man, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us, man. It was I had a blast chatting with you. I wish you nothing but the best for your career and everything you do, man. I hope you get to travel around the world, the country, and all, managing who you want to manage, helping them achieve all their dreams, their goals, getting gold, championships everywhere. I hope you get to do all that stuff, man.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem, man.
JW, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule to be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. It's always great, and we're always excited to have somebody from the Nightmare Factory on our show. If you've seen our track record, so we got nothing but love for y'all over there in Nightmare Factory as well. Hopefully one day, I know if fans are a lot, I could definitely get to check out a student showcase as well. I know Student Showcase 10 just happened, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next one. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out your next appearances, purchase J.W. Kirkland merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, so the best place to find me is honestly going to be on my Twitter. That's where I am currently most active. So that is at the G2 spelled out TO G2G95. Again, that is at the G2 TO spelled out G95. And you can message me on there. It has a link to my email where you can reach out to me. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's much longer to follow, but it's at the guide _2 _greatness 95. Again, the original one I wanted was already taken, but Twitter is where I'm definitely my most active and where you can easily catch me. It's also where you will find me dissing Cody Chun every chance I get, making sure he remembers that he kicked me in the face and trying to make him feel absolutely terrible about all of his life choices.
Awesome. So I see that you like to travel. You try to travel to New Jersey, and you made a successful trip to the PNW. If you ever get a chance to go to Delaware, my good friend here, Rob Bass, actually referees for a place called 1CW. Who knows? Maybe some of those guys there can use your managerial services, man. They got a lot of great talent over there, Ty Awesome, Sean. I know Sean Hardy's probably gonna kick my butt for actually, putting 1CW on. But hey, man, I mean, I like to let people know what it is and what's up in their areas or on their side of the country. So if you ever get a chance to go to Delaware, check out 1CW as well too. They're doing a lot of great things. Rob is most likely going to plug the next show that they have as well. So, y'all, for those of y'all listening and watching, make sure you check out J.W Kirkland. Give him a follow on social media, because like I said, once he get to that level of greatness, trust me, it's going to be awesome. And I don't mean that sarcastically. This man's doing great work. Definitely go ahead and give him a follow as well. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. I mean, it's time for dinner and a nap. But before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Sean Spencer to my Burton Guster, and the Bubba Ray to my Devon. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out your next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on X now, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Rob_Bass82, and then Facebook Rob Bass. And September 30th, 1CW, we're going to be at the Milford VFW. The show starts at 5. Doors open at 4. It's going to be on the water. It's an outdoor show, so we're going to have fun. I'm probably going to go fishing there. And before I go and take my pole and stuff, I got to let my girlfriend know I'm going fishing, because I don't want to go fishing and then come back. She thinks I'm cheating on her. So then there I be. So I got to do all that good stuff. So, and then after that, on August 14th or October 14th, we're back in Houston, Delaware for a Halloween show. It's going to be a great time for everything. So yeah, definitely check us out.
Awesome. Like I said, y'all definitely check out 1CW. They're doing great things. If you're in Delaware or any of the surrounding areas, or Virginia or West Virginia, where they actually do shows as well too. They're expanding a lot. Definitely check them out. A lot of great talent there as well. If you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places every now and then. You can find me on Twitter X and Instagram at the Remy Blue. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is on social media, on Twitter and Instagram X. Twitter X and Instagram and Threads at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, even coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. And yes, as I mentioned earlier, we actually have our luxury edition T-shirt, inspired by the Diamond Sheik. Definitely go ahead and check it out. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. And with that being said, also since we're talking about upcoming wrestling shows, definitely check out CCW. I believe it's called Misery, that they have going on October 7th next month. Definitely make sure you check it out. They have a lot of great, interesting people there, like Brooke Havoc, who actually came from Nightmare Factory, and also I believe making her debut, this may be her second or third appearance. I've lost track. There's going to be Ivy Malibu from the Nightmare Factory Camp 10. She'll also be there in the house. Many other great women there. Definitely check it out. October 7th is going to be in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. To all my New Yorkers out there, that's just a short bus ride over the Hudson, and you'll be there in Ridgefield. So definitely check it out as well. And I believe doors open at 5. Bell time is 6:00 p.m. So definitely make your way over there. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where we have cool interviews like this one, the one we had with is it Kiza? Kiza's his name, right?
Kiza, yeah.
With Kiza, Ryan Dotson, Don Furio, many other great men and women from the Nightmare Factory, many other great men and women from all over the world in professional wrestling. You can see those interviews on YouTube. All you gotta do is when you go to YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really handsome, beautiful, dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't miss a thing. You don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling nice tonight. It's Monday Night Raw. My belly's full. Hey, yo, Rob, well, partially full. I still got to eat some more dinner, the other half of dinner. Rob Bass, should I tell him? Should I tell him who we have in store?
Yes, you can. Let's go.
All right. So with that being said, this Friday, we might have some more shows coming up before this Friday, but so far this Friday, we'll be having the team of 24K Honey. That's right. That's Matt Honey and his tag team partner. Matt Honey's tag team partner. I'm sorry. I'll definitely remember your name next time, but we'll be having the tag team of 24K Honey on our show Friday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 4:00 p.m. for my West Coast riders. 6:00 p.m. for my people in the middle. Definitely make sure you tune in for that interview as well. It's going to be another great one. I just know it. And with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. You know, we strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop, doing that. And to those of you that are listening later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. And with that being said, we just want everybody to know that, we are very well aware of everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So with that being said, hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the Nightmare Factory Camp 5. That's right. We throwing up fives like Booker T in his prime. And one time for the manager of future legends, J.W. Kirkland.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back this Friday with 2 more impressive guests on another impressive episode. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware. See ya.